There is an unalterable law governing everything and every being that exists or lives. It is not a blind law, for no blind law can govern the conduct of living beings. And is this power benevolent or malevolent? I see it as purely benevolent, for I can see that in the midst of death, life persists. In the midst of untruth, truth persists. In the midst of darkness, light persists. God, to be God, must rule the heart and transform it.
This is the story of a new satyagrah.
My name is Nida Khan and I'm 28 years old and I was divorced in year 2016.
मेरा नाम शाह बानो है, मेरी उम्र 45 ईयर है। मुझे 2015 में 3 तलाक दिया गया था।
मेरा नाम शब्बो खातून है, मेरी शादी 2012 में हुई थी और तलाक हमारी करीब 4 साल पहले हुई है, 3 साल 4 साल पहले।
This is the story of a premise and a promise.
आज हमारी सरकार सबका साथ, सबका विकास, सबका विश्वास और सबका प्रयास इस संकल्प को लेकर के काम कर रही है। वे अपने अपने स्थान पर खड़े हो जाएं।
This is a story of action and change.
I was divorced in year 2016.
और तलाक हमारी करीब 4 साल पहले हुई।
मेरा विवाह 2002 में हुआ था और मेरी जो परिचय मेरे हस्बैंड से अरेंज मैरिज के दौरान हुआ था। रिश्तेदारों के दौरान जो है परिचय हुआ था।
18 February 2015, I got married and my husband belongs to the school of thoughts which was known as Dargah Ala Hazrat.
हमारा परिचय नहीं था, लोगों ने बताया तो बस सबके कहने से हमारी शादी हो गई। हमारी मर्जी से नहीं थी, कोई हमारी कोई लव मैरिज नहीं थी, अरेंज मैरिज ही थी।
स्टार्टिंग से ही मेरे साथ जो है घरेलू हिंसा होती थी और जो व्यवहार था अच्छा नहीं था। ससुराल जन का भी व्यवहार अच्छा नहीं था और मेरे जो हस्बैंड थे उनका भी व्यवहार काफ़ी अच्छा नहीं था।
My time of marriage was very miserable. जब मैं प्रेग्नेंट थी उसके बाद मेरे हस्बैंड ने मारपीट भी करी, मिसकैरेज भी हुआ, तो दिस वाज द ट्रीटमेंट आई वाज गेटिंग फ्रॉम देम।
हमने दिन से ही मांगना शुरू कर दिया कि तुम डाइनिंग टेबल नहीं लेकर आई हो, एसी नहीं लेकर आई हो और हमें बच्चा नहीं करना है वरना मैं फंस जाऊंगा।
1 साल 1.5 साल के बाद वो अपनी बीवी को लेके आए, फिर वो लड़ाई झगड़े। 8 साल कितनी मुसीबत से गुजरे ये हम या मेरा अल्लाह जानते हैं खुद, कि कभी मेरा अच्छा पल नहीं गुजरा, फिर भी हमने हर चीज़ को सब्र किया।
3 तलाक उन्होंने स्पीड पोस्ट द्वारा दिया था। ऐसी घरेलू हिंसा होते होते मतलब उन्होंने फिर एंड में ही तलाक दे दिया।
In 2015, my husband beaten me brutally and I came back to my mother-in-law house. After that, I filed a case against him in the court. FIR होने के बाद उन्होंने कोर्ट में कह दिया कि मैंने तुम्हें तलाक दिया है।
पहले लिखत में नहीं भेजी, इसके बाद जब हमने उसको इनकार किया तो उन्होंने हमें जो है वो से भी तलाक 3 बार दे दिया।
मेरे साथ 3 तलाक की घटना घटित हुई और तो फिर मुझे ऐसा लगा कि बिना किसी वजह के ऐसी 3 तलाक और भी मुस्लिम महिलाओं को दे दिया जाता होगा और उनकी ज़िंदगी एकदम नर्कमय हो जाती होगी और उनके बच्चों का जीवन एकदम नर्क हो जाता होगा, उनका भविष्य अंधकारमय हो जाता था।
Shah Bano took her case to the Supreme Court of India. On 22nd of August 2017, a landmark judgment declared triple talaq unconstitutional. It was left to the parliament to pass laws needed against it. She decided to fight. Thousands joined her. Something blatantly wrong, oppressive and chauvinistic was happening under the garb of religion.
Teen talaq, triple divorce. Merely uttering or writing the word divorce in person, by SMS, by WhatsApp, over the phone, that's it. Marriage over. Believe it or not, more than 11,000 Muslim men every year in India were divorcing their wives this way. Almost 4 lakh such cases were recorded since 1985. UP, Bengal, Tamil Nadu, Andhra, Bihar saw thousands of cases. The premise was argued that this was culture, tradition, acceptable because a Muslim marriage was a contract, not a sacrament. Every pretext in the book. Fresh plea has now been filed in the Supreme Court, challenging the Triple Talaq legislation.
Triple Talaq, which has already been declared unconstitutional and void. Plea have also alleged that the law unjustified.
Muslim women celebrated around the country. The Personal Law Board has decided to challenge the law with their appeal in the Supreme Court.
There will be more discussions and more debates over whether the bill should be passed or not. Now, the real reason why the Congress and the opposition are opposing the Triple Talaq bill is very, very simple to fathom.
The ordinance is manifestly arbitrary and discriminatory, says the petition which has now been filed in the Supreme Court.
The road was long, the road was hard. The road to satyagrah always is.
After independence, in 56, ultimately, the Hindu law underwent a change and ultimately brought about equality and parity between men and women. It didn't so result for Muslim marriages, and so ultimately we had a completely unequal kind of relationship which continued, where men could, for the asking, pronounce talaq either in one way or the other. There are about 3 different ways of talaq where the man can pronounce it unilaterally, and because of that women were ultimately suffering. So there was discrimination as far as Muslim women were concerned.
I am under my husband. If he likes me to keep, he will keep me. If he doesn't want, he is angry or he wants to go for another marriage, whatever, he will just abandon. Or he is in anger. I mean, this woman is not commodity, I am saying.
The Muslim personal law essentially was different because of the manner in which women could not have any say in a divorce. What happens ultimately is, for example, in most modern jurisprudence in family law, you have a contested and a what you call an error divorce. You don't have a no fault divorce. In this case, not only was it no fault in the sense that the man could divorce the wife for no reason, but also could do it simply on the man's asking.
Many women that I come across, they told me that they have been divorced by their husband, you know, through WhatsApp, through email, through SMS. I mean, it's disgusting.
As far as a nikah nama is concerned, now for example, in Hindu marriages, you have marriage as a sacrament, and everything that flows out is from that position of what it is. However, in Muslim law, the nikah nama works like a contract and is a contract. It doesn't work like a contract, it is actually a contractual arrangement where the man and women engage in a matrimonial relationship, and also in terms lay down what the terms of severance would be, which means really is providing for meher, that is dower to be paid in the case of divorce. So it essentially is a contractual arrangement, and that's the manner in which the Muslim marriages are perceived and treated.
Yes, I signed the nikah nama and it contained of 2-3 duas plus the witnesses, my signature and my husband's signature.
मेरे निकाह नामे में मैंने हस्ताक्षर किए थे और उसमें दोनों पक्षों के हस्ताक्षर थे.
It was like I was knowing about the fact that I can be divorced by through the triple talaq, but I wasn't knowing that it will be happen to me.
मेरा निकाह हुआ था तो इस बात की मुझे जानकारी नहीं थी कि मुझे 3 तलाक दिया जाएगा.
Ultimately, it's a simple phenomenon. You have a right, and you have a right which you can exercise unilaterally. You have a right where you don't have to go to a court and ask for a declaration. Well, it's the simplest method of getting rid, let us say, of a woman, and the worst part of it is also today's social media, and the fact that you can have triple talaq pronounced through telephone, you can have it through WhatsApp, you can have it through mail, you can have it through any of the mediums that are available, and there are several of course available, and there is not even a proper prescription required as to what to do.
मेरे खिलाफ उन्होंने फतवा इशू कर दिया जो बहुत ही खराब था, जिसमें कहा कि मुझे कब्रिस्तान में जगह ना मिले, मेरी तबीयत खराब हो जाए तो मुझे इलाज ना हो, और अगर मुझसे कोई मिलेगा वो भी इस्लाम से खारिज हो जाएगा।
पर्सनल लॉ बोर्ड के अध्यक्ष हैं अरशद मदनी हैं, उन्होंने मतलब हम लोगों को बुलाया और उन्होंने बातचीत की, कहा कि अपना केस वापस ले लीजिए और इससे आपको कोई भी फ़ायदा नहीं हो सकता है और ये इस्लाम के खिलाफ है।
बहुत ज़्यादा धमकाया गया, इतना ज़्यादा धमकाया गया कि आज तक मुझे धमकाया जा रहा है, मगर अब हम डरने वाले नहीं हैं। हम तो खुद सोचते हैं कि हम अपने लिए भी लड़ेंगे और आने वाले और लोगों के लिए भी लड़ेंगे।
सरकार उन लोगों का सपोर्ट करे और उन लोगों की तरफ से एक्शन ले कि मेरी तरीके और भी जितनी लड़कियां हैं, महिलाएं, उन लोगों के साथ ऐसा ना हो जिस तरीके मेरे साथ मेरा घर परिवार को उजाड़ा जा रहा है और हमें धमकाया जा रहा है, मारा पीटा जा रहा है।
Enter Prime Minister Narendra Modi, the man who promised सबका साथ सबका विकास, the man who was maligned by his opponents as being anti-Muslim, anti-secular and the harbinger of bad tidings for Muslims. What would the government and the centre do? Cave in, water it down, leave loopholes? Governments in the past had a tragic record when dealing with fundamental issues regarding Muslim women in India.
In April 1978, a 62-year-old Shah Bano went to court demanding maintenance from her divorced husband Muhammad Ahmad Khan, a lawyer in Indore. He had divorced her and left her with 5 children after marrying a second wife. Under Section 125 of the Code of Criminal Procedure 1973, there is a legal obligation on a man to provide for his wife after divorce. But Khan contested this. He insisted that Muslim personal law in India required the husband to only provide maintenance for the iddat period, usually only 3 months. Khan's arguments were supported by the All India Muslim Personal Law Board. They insisted that Indian courts could not interfere in Muslim law.
Shah Bano won the case. She won the right to maintenance. She broke the shackles of Muslim men hiding behind religion to justify their actions, but it wouldn't last.
In 1984, the Rajiv Gandhi government passed the Muslim Women Protection on Divorce Act. This in essence overturned the precedent set in the Shah Bano case.
This time, things would be different.
मेरी मुस्लिम महिलाएं बहनें, उनको मैं आज लाल किले से विश्वास दिलाना चाहता हूं। 3 तलाक की कुरीति ने हमारे देश की मुस्लिम बेटियों की जिंदगी को तबाह करके रखा हुआ है और जिनको तलाक नहीं मिला है वो भी इस दबाव में गुजारा कर रही है। इस सत्र में भी हमने पार्लियामेंट में कानून ला करके हमारी महिलाओं को कुरीतियों से मुक्ति दिलाने का बीड़ा उठाया था।
On 30th July 2019, the central government under Prime Minister Narendra Modi piloted the Muslim Women Protection of Rights on Marriage Bill. It finally cleared the Rajya Sabha with a majority of 99 to 84.
The bill was introduced in 2017 but was stalled in the Rajya Sabha. The government then brought in an ordinance which was promulgated 3 times before the bill was finally carried through. There were heated debates in the Lok Sabha. The opposition claimed the bill would be used to jail Muslim men and as a tool to target one community.
The primary objection to the introduction of this bill is twofold.
On 25th July 2019, the Lok Sabha passed the bill banning triple talaq. 245 MPs of the lower house voted in favour of the bill amid a walkout by opposition parties including the Congress, TMC and JDU. Once passed in the lower house, the triple talaq bill reached the Rajya Sabha where it needed 123 votes to be cleared. The BJP and its allies had only 80 seats, making the passage of the bill much tougher in the upper house. The opposition demanded the triple talaq bill be referred to a select committee.
You are a party in the petition.
However, abstentions of several opposition parties and walkouts by the JDU and AIADMK brought down the effective strength of the Rajya Sabha. This worked out in the government's favour. Ultimately, the support of the BJD to the NDA paved the way for the triple talaq bill to be passed in the upper house as well.
The motion that the bill will be passed is adopted.
मुझे बहुत ही अच्छा लगा और मुझे ऐसा लगा कि जो आने वाली जनरेशन है और जो महिलाएं हैं उनको न्याय मिलेगा और उनके साथ कोई भी जाति नहीं होगी।
ट्रिपल तलाक के खिलाफ बिल आया तो वी वर वेरी वेरी हैप्पी और इट वाज लाइक कि मुस्लिम लेडीज़ के लिए बहुत ही अच्छा स्टेप है।
Triple Talaq is gone. It has saved so many families from being broken. So many women are saved, and I think future of so many children is also saved.
Husband goes in straight away for 3 years. Now people will argue, how will he pay maintenance if he goes into jail? Then don't do it. Don't indulge in it. Let me tell you, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, he himself has discouraged the instant triple talaq.
Every trick in the book was still tried. Some claimed it was tradition, others said it was impractical. Some claimed it was part of religion. Some insisted that no law was required as the SC ruling was enough.
उनका मकसद इस देश में हिंदू मुसलमान एजेंडे के अलावा कोई दूसरा एजेंडा ही नहीं है।
ये संविधान के खिलाफ है, फंडामेंटल राइट्स के खिलाफ है, आर्टिकल 14 और 15 के खिलाफ है, मुस्लिम महिलाओं के खिलाफ है।
Purpose of this bill is only political. They are only interested in targeting the Muslims. They are not concerned about Hindu women at all.
We just need other opinions also to be taken into consideration. So the opposition is only asking for the bill to be sent to a select committee. We are not trying to stop it.
This is too harsh. You can't bring social reform with an iron rod in your hand.
The spin was repeatedly put that this was un-Islamic, that this was interference.
When the reality is that even Islamic republics in Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Turkey, Indonesia, Bangladesh, Malaysia and even in Pakistan, triple talaq had been outlawed years ago.
तीन तलाक एक लंबे समय से चलती हुई सामाजिक बुराई हमारे देश के अंदर थे। दुनिया के तमाम देशों में इस पे प्रतिबंध लग चुके हैं। बहुत सारे देशों में इस्लामिक कंट्रीज हैं, वहाँ भी तीन तलाक बैन है। हिंदुस्तान में न जाने क्यों वोट बैंक पॉलिटिक्स की वजह से लंबे समय से तमाम महिलाओं ने इस प्रथा से लड़ने की कोशिशें भी की।
तलाक बिद्दत, which is forbidden way of giving talaq, and actually was never a part of the Quran Sharif, the holy book of Muslims. Talaq Hasan and Talaq Ahsan are part of Quran, but Talaq Biddat was not. So in fact, there is people know about this, that in times of Hazrat Umar, when this kind of talaq was being practiced, Hazrat Umar actually forbade Muslims from indulging and engaging in this form of talaq and said, if you do so, you will be whipped 40 times.
ये सिर्फ और सिर्फ एक तरीके से मेल्स के फेवर के लिए है, इसमें वुमेन्स के लिए कुछ भी नहीं है, क्योंकि एक आदमी कभी भी आके आपको तलाक दे सकता है, आपको एक रिलेशनशिप से निकाल सकता है, तो ये किसी भी तरीके से वुमेन्स के लिए नहीं है। तो इसको बैन करना, इट वॉज मैंडेटरी फॉर द वुमेन्स, फॉर देयर सेफ्टी एंड फॉर देयर एम्पावरमेंट।
मैं यही कहना चाहती हूँ लोगों को कि अगर मतलब तीन तलाक था तो उससे मतलब जो ये प्रथा थी प्रचलित थी, ये प्रथा प्रचलित थी, काफ़ी समय से प्रचलित थी, तो इसकी वजह से कितनी बहन बेटियों का घर उजड़ रहा था और कितनी भी मतलब महिलाओं के साथ उनके जीवन एकदम नर्कमय हो जाता था। और अगर तीन तलाक पे कानून बना है तो मेरे ख्याल से शरीयत के खिलाफ नहीं है।
It's not mentioned once in Quran. It's a barbaric, inhuman practice, and Islam is saying to protect the humanity, human rights. So how can you say it's anti-Islamic or it is against the Muslims?
After the passing of the law, the number of triple talaq cases in India has fallen by 80%.
This then is a story of hope, of India's arc of history.
The state prescribes a criminal offence. The idea is not only to criminalize it, but to indicate that something is unacceptable and something is done with a form of triple talaq. It's something which is not done, and that I think is the ultimate message. In fact, I really like what Justice Korean Joseph said in the judgment in which I had argued for the government, that what is bad in the Holy Quran, what is bad in moral, in theology, is bad in law. It can't be good.
इस कानून के बाद मैं कह सकती हूँ महिलाओं में एक सिक्योरिटी आ गई है और उनके शादियों में एक बहुत बड़ी सिक्योरिटी की तीन तलाक के केसेस बहुत कम देखने को मिलते हैं। जहाँ छोटी छोटी बातों को लेकर तलाक हो जाते थे, आजकल वो देखने को कम मिलते हैं। और इसी तरीके से ये इस कानून से काफ़ी महिलाओं को एम्पावरमेंट हुआ है।
कानून बनने के बाद जिनके साथ मतलब ये घटना घटित हो रही है, 3 तलाक की घटना, तो महिलाएं सामने आ रही हैं, उनके जो परिवार वाले हैं वो भी जागरूक हुए हैं और वो भी अब मतलब 3 तलाक होने पर सामने आ रहे हैं, अब चुपचाप बैठ नहीं जा रहे हैं।
Muslim Women Protection of Rights on Marriage Act 2019 ultimately fully protects women, and in the event of a triple talaq being declared, the man or the husband is liable for imprisonment up to 3 years and fine, and that is a criminal action which of course is a very salutary effect on practices which have to be put down and not permitted to continue.
The way this triple talaq has gone, it means he has empowered so many Muslim women which were maybe on their way out because of this triple talaq, and this empowerment is without any appeasement.
It has helped empower Muslim women, and Muslim women are that way, they are quite happy that because it gives women the right, so it gives women the right to actually decide for themselves, and they should be equal right, as I say.
सामाजिक बुराई थी 3 तलाक के रूप में, उसे खत्म करके मोदी सरकार ने एक मुस्लिम महिलाओं को बड़ा आत्मनिर्भर बनाया है और उनके अंदर से डर का माहौल जो बना हुआ था उसे खत्म किया है। वो अभी खुल करके अब अपने घर गृहस्थी में लगी हुई हैं और किसी चीज में वो डर नहीं है, वरना हर वक्त उनके अंदर डर की भावना बनी रहती थी कि कब ऐसे खतरे ना आ जाए और हमारा घर बिखर ना जाए।
Look at all the measures and initiatives that have been taken by this government to empower women. You will realize that it's just not development which is meant for women, but women-led development, which is women are leading development.
The journey for the empowerment of Muslim women in India continues. From toilets to cylinders to houses to better enrollment and better education.
जब सरकार की मशीनरी का लक्ष्य हर पात्र व्यक्ति तक पहुंचने का हो, तो भेदभाव पक्षपात टिक ही नहीं सकता। इसलिए हमारा ये 100% सेवा अभियान, सोशल जस्टिस, सामाजिक न्याय, इसका बहुत बड़ा सशक्त माध्यम है। यही सामाजिक न्याय की असली गारंटी है। यही सच्ची पंथ निरपेक्षता है। यही सच्चा सेक्युलरिज्म है।
In the end, we can choose to like or dislike, believe or disbelieve the politics. But we can't choose what Gandhi told us. In the midst of untruth, truth persists. The hope of the world lies in India. There is no country as ancient, as populous, as diverse or as complex in the world. The story of criminalizing triple talaq in India will go down in history as a moment when we refuse to be blind to reality and logic, where we refuse to be subservient to political expedience, when we chose to act because it was right to act. This is the story of India's new satyagrah.
I was divorced in year 2016.
और तलाक हमारी करीब 4 साल पहले हुई।